what's up everybody? This is Whitney from Geeked Out Fangirl, and today I'm going to be doing a video about some of the comics in my to-be-read pile. I have a ton of comics that I have collected over the last couple of months. I've not been into comics too awful long, probably about 4 or 5 months or so, maybe a little bit longer than that, not really sure. I have more comics than I have read, but I'm eventually going to get around, hopefully, to reading all of these comics. I have been addictedly binge watching Bones on Netflix lately, so that has taken up the majority of my time. So I'm way behind on my reading. I've been a bad bookworm, slacking on that, but I am going to rectify that soon. So, to get started, the first comic that I have is Charmed Season 9, Volume 1. I was really excited when I found this comic. I didn't even know that they had continued Charmed into a comic book series like they did with Buffy. I had actually found Season 10 of Charmed at Books-A-Million, but I couldn't find Season 9, so I finally got on Amazon, found it, ordered it. It came last week, I think. Not read it yet. Like I said, none of these comics that I'm going to show you, I've not read any of them yet, but I will eventually get around to it. So I'm really excited to see where they take Charmed in comic book form. I was a little disappointed with the way that they ended the show, but hopefully the comics are pretty good, so we'll find out. Next comic I have is Volume 2 of Chew, called International Flavor. Now, Volume 1 of Chew was the first comic that I ever read. It was recommended to me by a pen pal from International Geek Girl Pen Pal Club. If you're a chick, if you're geeky, even if you're a guy, and you're really into geeky stuff, you want to meet some awesome people, I highly recommend that you go check that site out. Anyway, back to my comics. Chew is hilarious. If you are easily grossed out, I wouldn't recommend that you read these comics, but if you're like me and you have sort of a twisted, sick sense of humor and, you know, bloody, gory crap doesn't bother you, then you really need to check this out. They're hilarious. They follow a cop named Tony Chew. He has a gift where if he eats something, he gets like visions, impressions, whatever. So, you know, of course, he investigates deaths and murders and all that good stuff. So, there's a couple of times, you know, that he's got to chomp down on some dead people parts and he gets some visions and it helps him, you know, solve crime and catch bad guys. Like I said, it's kind of gross, but it's hilarious. So if you're into that, if that kind of stuff doesn't bother you, I highly, highly recommend that you go and read Chew. Next one I have is another hilarious, really great comic. Chew is by Image, and actually the next two comics I'm going to show you are by Image as well. Image, I really love their comics, really love their art styles, their writing. They're great comics. So with that said, this is Rat Queens Volume 2. I read Rat Queens Volume 1, of course. I've not started Rat Queens Volume 2 yet, but I will eventually be getting around to it. These are hilarious, full of bad A women. They're in kind of like a little guild. There's magic, there's adventure, you know, hilarity ensues. Just, these are exceptionally great comics. Hilarious. Highly recommend. Definitely recommend that you, if nothing else, you check out Chew and Rat Queens. The next comic, like I said, also by Image, is The Wicked and the Divine, and I have heard excellent, great things about this comic. This is about 12 gods. Says every 90 years, 12 gods return as young people. They are loved, they are hated. In 2 years, they are all dead. It's happening now, it's happening again. So, flipping through this, you know, great artwork as usual. I've heard really excellent things. It's been recommended to me by several different people, so I'm really excited to get to that comic when I can. And the last comic that I have is, I'm also really excited about this one. I'm a huge fan of Once Upon a Time, so I was really stoked when this comic came out. I have not read it yet, because I'm a slacker, but I will eventually be getting to it. probably be getting to this one before I get to any of the rest of these, just because I am so addicted to this show and so in love with these characters and this world. And so, enough of my fangirling. With that said, this is Once Upon a Time Out of the Past. Now, this book goes back and gives you a little bit of backstory, I guess, pre-OWOT show of Rumpelstiltskin, Belle, Killian Jones, aka Captain Hook, who I am in love with, just to let you know, Mad Hatter, and Regina, which is the evil queen. If you've never watched Once Upon a Time, I don't know what to tell you. You need to watch it. That's all I'm going to say. But this is the second OWOT comic that has came out. The first one was focused on Regina, the evil queen, and the huntsman, showing their relationship that they had before the show, because when the show started, you know, he was kind of her little minion sheriff in town that she, you know, had this whole past thing with. So, it doesn't really matter which comic you read first. This one just goes back and focuses on Killian Jones before he was known as Captain Hook. Early sparks of Rumpelstiltskin and Belle's relationship when she was a servant in his castle. Regina when she faces down demons from her past. And the Mad Hatter in Wonderland. So this takes place, this just gives you a little bit of backstory on each of these characters pre-OWOT show. So, yeah, if nothing else, I highly, 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 highly recommend that you check out Rat Queens and Chew. They are both excellent comics. They're hilarious. They're funny. Great art styles. Great writing. Highly recommend those. Anything by Image that I have read so far has been great. Read a lot of, you know, good things from other Image comics. So yeah, I highly recommend that you definitely check out Chew and Rat Queens. You know, get on Amazon, go to your local comic book store, go to Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, get on Walmart, just, you know, anywhere that sells comics. If you've not read them, go check them out. If not, you only have yourself to blame because they are excellent comics, hilarious, great. So that is all I have for you guys today, and I hope everyone has an excellent weekend. I will be spending it working night shift, but I hope everybody has fun, be safe, and I will see you guys later.